Drones. If you search this precise word on Google, about 557 million results will come up, with distinct shapes, sizes, prices, colors and utilities. You may think that you know what drones are and how they fly. So, I asked normal people this simple question.
Can you tell us just what do you think a drone is?
Like those little flying toys with they're like helicopters, but they usually have four, I don't know how that's called. So
Yes, for rotors.
four rotors.
Okay, right? No. Well, actually yes, although there is much more science and physics behind their flight. Also, there are many more essential uses that drones have that you might not have heard of, which are crucial for our daily lives. If you want to learn more about drones, this is your place. Welcome to Drones and their infinite uses. Let's start with a basic understanding of drones. Surprisingly, drones were first designed in 1849 when the province of Venice fought for its independence from Austria. These drones were designs of hot air, hydrogen or helium balloons with bombs, even though these balloons are not the ones that we know today. Over the years, since those balloons, drones were being innovated further and further until Abraham Karem built his first drone for the Israeli Air Force during the Yom Kippur War in 1973. Nonetheless, he is mostly recognized for the RQ-1 or MQ-1 Predator, used by the US Air Force to launch missiles or bombs. And now, they look like this. Yes, drones were invented for war, just like tanks. Now you know the history of drones. Now let's move on to what are drones exactly. Drones, also known in the military as UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, are unmanned aircrafts which can fly in two different ways. The first one is flying autonomously, or in other words, without anyone controlling them inside the machine. This is made through software-controlled flights embedded in their CPU systems, working together with sensors and GPS. However, in most normal cases, these aircrafts are controlled remotely by a controller which sends the software-controlled flights to the drone. Now, with all of the knowledge that we have gained, drones can look really differently from each other. So, drones can look like this, like this, like this, like this, or even like this. But how do they fly? This is pretty simple. Now we will cover the drone scientific law of hovering. Drones hover and fly by their rotors, which normally are four. These rotors are divided diagonally as two diagonal rotors will rotate clockwise and the other two will rotate anti-clockwise. These two opposite rotations will balance out the weight of the drone and keep it steady. They elevate from the floor by all rotors spinning together, which all four push down to the air, which bounces back on the rotors. This makes the drone elevate or go down to land. The speed of the rotors will quantify the elevation and movement of the drone, as when the rotors move faster, the air will bounce back faster and stronger, which will increase the upthrust of the drone. For the drone to turn, two diagonal rotors will slow down and the resultant rotors will increase their velocity so the drone will not elevate while turning. To move the drone backwards, forwards, the two parallel rotors will slow down and the resultant ones will increase their power. So this will make the drone move to the direction which the stronger rotors are moving to. These commands are executed by a controller that transfers the commands by radio signals and works to increase or decrease the voltage transferred to the rotors. Okay, now we know the basics of the flight of drones. Let's move on now to their unlimited uses. Drones can be used for farming by a single drone which can perfectly monitor hundreds of hectares to record information on the hydration, the pesticides, and the colors of the crops, and to even plant some seeds. These ways, farmers avoid the complete loss of crops they once had that were caused every year by problems such as lack of hydration, fertilizers, or pests, as drones act quicker to threats such as weed or fungi, which can ruin a whole land. Some of them for the military, for spying and bombing other countries which can have terrorists, and they can even save lives from terrorist attacks. Thirdly, is a really important use of the drones. Drones are starting to be used in the US for delivery, as they have been innovated to transport 25 kilograms for more than 1.5 kilometers away. These drones are being tested by Walmart, Google, Amazon, UPS, and are predicted that with the technological advance of delivering, drones can have a big impact on communities where trucks may not be efficient. So one day you might see when you order some fast food that a drone will come and give you food. Drones have supplied photographers with much deeper and aerial photographs, which have expanded their possibilities to take better photographs in extreme places where the photographer would not reach. This advance has impacted the photography community, as this has increased their range and the value of photography has been raised. Also, to create amazing pictures such as these ones. Outer space. Drones have been used in space exploration by various organizations such as NASA and the US Air Force. These drones have the ability to circle the Earth multiple times and gather important information, as there have been made a priority for future space explorations and innovations, as drones can be sent back to Earth and be reused. This advance has impacted the space community, as drones are much more effective and safe than other manned aircraft. There is even a drone planned to go to Titan Saturn's moon. Emergency rescues. Drones have been innovated to transport medical supplies or even organs to rural and hard-reached areas, as ambulances or other vehicles can face difficulties in transporting supplies in areas such as Alaska, where Alaskans rely on drones to transport as fast as possible medical supplies, as an ambulance may face difficulties in the snow. As this example, when a man has a heart attack and gets saved by a drone, which tells them what to do in that case. Topography. To make a map from a wide area cheaply, for example, to construct roads, buildings, bridges, or anything important which could cost a lot more. And of course, for entertainment. And these you can see them in leisure times at your homes, or even at competitions where people can win huge prizes of, for example, hundreds or thousands of euros or dollars, depends in which area do you live. But people can win a lot of money just by flying the drones and going through the right places, just like Formula 1. These are just the main uses of drones to prove you how important drones are. Drones might seem simple from the outside, however in the inside it's filled with cables, motors, CPUs and more. So next I will teach you how to build a drone, as this will make you understand easier how drones work. Let's start by buying a kit or separate parts of a drone. I bought mine from Amazon. First, we will open the box to see what we have in the inside. In my case, we have everything we need for the drone. We have in one bag 8 propellers in case one breaks, and a charger for the battery of the drone. Then a CPU of the battery and a screwdriver to assemble the drone correctly and to make it fit, so if it falls it won't break down into a lot of pieces. Then the 4 rotors, which are magnetic and stick to each other. This is like the most important part, as without this the drone would not fly. Then we have the plastic materials which will help the drone and make it stable when flying. Then of course the controller, which can cost a lot of money. In my case it came with the set and was in fact really cheap. You can change the hand things so you can make them larger or shorter depending on your likes or dislikes. And a clip to hold your phone for the POV of the drone, just if you like, as you can control the drone just with the controller. Now let's start assembling the drone. First, we can read the user's manual, which does not have any part of the drone, so this only tells us each component which the drone must have. This will be linked in the description, just if you want to build the exact same drone as me. I recommend it a lot as this flies really good and has a lot of quality, as it is really cheap and flies really well. Now let's start with touching the drone and with our hands using the base as the start component for the drone. First, we will open the first bag, which has the most important things, the CPU, the camera and the battery. So we also have 3 nails which we can use to screw the CPU of the drone. We will do that right now. But first, I have opened the rotors, which as you can see are metallic. It isn't important, although I found it really funny as they stick together. So first we will open also the next bag if we have anything important. As we can see, we have the charger there and the 8 propellers, which are essential for the drone's flight. So now we will start with the CPU, assembling it to the base. As you can see, we have 3 holes for these screws. We will screw that in a second. I won't film that as that is pretty easy and you won't need to see that. So now we have the drone assembled correctly with the CPU in the middle of the system of the drone. Now I will connect the battery to see if the battery of the drone has battery, so I can fly it right now, although it's not complete. So I will put it in the right place just to keep that safe and try if it works or if my drone is broken. So I will use it in the bottom connection, which has the CPU, as this is specific to the battery. Now we will insert the 4 rotors to each connection. As you can see, the rotors have different types of connections, some of them white and some of them red. So we will connect the white ones to the white ones and the red ones to the red ones. As I previously explained, that the drones fly with 2 rotors opposite to each other going clockwise and 2 rotors opposite to each other again going anti-clockwise. This is due to the flight of the drone, as if not it would not fly. So it is a really pretty simple task, just connecting the rotors to each place like a charger to its output. Now we take the drone away and embed the camera to its mount, which is that red part and that green part. This task could take a long time, as it was really tedious, as you had to place the camera in the exact place. If not, it would not film correctly and it would not place correctly on the drone and the propellers would hit the drone. For this part, even my dad helped me, as it was really tedious and complicated to assemble this. So I recommend you to search for help for this part. Now we will take off the camera lens, which is really satisfying. Look how clean. So now we have the camera built into the red mount with the green mount. Now it's just connecting it to the drone, and then we will have it fully done. Look just how excited I look with my drone built. Look now at the montage of the drone. Now let's see how it flies. I have tested it a huge amount of times and its sensibility is great, as it turns exactly where you want it to turn or to land, and you can take videos, footage or anything you want. Now we'll put some footage from the drone. The quality is not perfect, but it's really good for the price it has, as it only cost me 30 euros or something like that, and as you can see, it has really sharp turns. This is all we have for this documentary, drones and their infinite uses. We have reviewed what are drones, their history, how do they fly, their uses, and even how to build one. I am sure that you are now a master of drones. Click like if you like it and put in the comment sections your opinion.